Talking shit.
Welcome back to Talking Shit. We are back. 1 week hiatus, a little vacation for old Prince Hudda here. A little bit more color, a little bit more tan, but we are back live from the Sports Interaction studio. We're talking football today, American and English. A lot going on in the sports world. We are back, and I'm joined by none other than Johnny Giunta for today. Johnny, what are we saying? How are we doing today?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm starting to see football on the TV again, although it is preseason, which kind of whatever. But starting to see football, starting to see these highlight packs of Caleb Williams making throws, Jordan Love making throws. So we're back. We're back. We got Premier League starting this weekend, La Liga, Serie A is the week after. But we could not be more back now. We're right. It's starting to near the end of summer, folks, which kind of sucks. But we have the greatest time of the year coming up here with the NFL and college football. So I'm pumped.
Absolutely. We are in the midst of the NFL preseason. Premier League kicks off this weekend. College football kicks off in a little bit. The viewing habits, for the next few weeks will probably just be football. But then as we roll into October, we got NBA, we got NHL, MLB playoffs. We are reaching the pinnacle of the sports year. Obviously, the weather won't be as good, but that's the trade-off we got to make in this society. We are very, very excited. And there's a lot going on today. At the time of recording, breaking news, J.J. McCarthy out for the season with knee surgery. I want to get your immediate thoughts on that one, Johnny.
I don't even really think he was going to start for the Vikings. I'm pretty sure it was going to be Darnold anyways. I think you're going to kind of let McCarthy kind of just learn as it goes, kind of like other situations that have happened in the NFL where a rookie maybe takes over week 5, week 6. But it sucks for Vikings fan because the shiny new toy you drafted, national champion out of Michigan, is not going to be able to play for you until 2025 now. So just a terrible bounce, to be honest. Like last year, they had Kirk Cousins injured for the entire season, pretty much. And now you drop the quarterback to kind of be the next man up. And now he is done for the remainder of the season. So it's just it's why sports can just be an absolute gut punch. It sucks.
Yeah. I was looking at a stat on Twitter. It was about the recent history of the Vikings. So 2016, Teddy Bridgewater was supposed to be the guy, broke his leg. Then we get Sam Bradford in 2017, knee done. And then last year, Kirk Cousins was playing like an MVP. Vikings really looked ready to take that next step. He's done. And J.J. McCarthy, probably from the rookie quarterbacks that played week 1 in the preseason, arguably the best performing one. He's out for the year. So it sucks. And then also breaking news as well, Jordan Addison, wide receiver for the Vikings, got carted off the field. So it's just when it rains, it pours for the Minnesota Vikings fans right now. Yeah,
that sucks, man. That's why it's like we have the excitement of preseason being here. And if you're an NFL fan, you love it. But you're kind of just walking on eggshells because anything could happen. It's just grown men at the highest level going toe-to-toe against each other where injuries can happen. So it absolutely sucks. I couldn't imagine being a Vikings fan, just misery forever, essentially, just with like how it's always been. But J.J. McCarthy and Addison. Justin Jefferson unders might be the move because this dude is, 1, not going to get the ball probably, and 2, he's going to be triple covered because there's literally no one else to pass the ball to on the Vikings.
Yeah, that's true. TJ Hawkinson doesn't look like he's going to be ready for week 1 either. So it's literally just Darnold and Jefferson. I mean, I feel bad for Jefferson. He just got his contract. He's sticking around, one of the highest paid receivers in the league. This is not what you want. Like, I was surprised personally to see Jefferson resign. I know we talked about it. I thought he would be on the move. He'd go somewhere else where he could probably have a better chance of winning. You look at that division, the Packers are set up for success for the next however many years. The Lions look like they're primed for success for the next few years. So you have the Vikings as probably the 3rd team before all these injuries. J.J. McCarthy could be the guy, but obviously now he's going to have to come back from this really, really strong injury, potentially Addison as well. So I'm shocked. I was shocked to see Jefferson re-sign, and I bet he's kicking himself now thinking, why the fuck am I still in Minnesota?
It's to be honest, like I really don't feel bad for him because he knew the situation he was getting in. He was going to have a family member, or not. What am I saying? 1, he was going to have no quarterback playing there, or a rookie quarterback, And 2, the backup option, if that rookie quarterback sucked, was Sam Darnold. And this is a guy that's going to want to get the ball. He's a competitor. I would be in hell if I was Justin Jefferson, man. I have no idea why. There's no amount of money could make me be fine with just having a question mark at the guy that's supposed to pretty much make you your money by giving you the ball.
That's fair. I guess like you see it in football, you see it in basketball, you see it in hockey even. You want money or you want a chance to compete? And it seems like Minnesota is going to give him the money. He's going to be one of the most highest paid receivers for the next little bit. He'll sell a lot of jerseys. People will be hitting the gritties. He'll make a ton of money. But to your point, we won't see Minnesota in the playoffs for this year.
Yeah, we're never going to see Justin Jefferson in the playoffs for at least 2 or 3 more years.
I know, and it sucks because no one's going to take on that contract. Nobody can afford to pay him like that. They all got to pay their own stars. So it is really interesting to see. I mean, Vikings, we don't have the over-under win totals up yet. Obviously, it's going to be adjusted given the new news, but I'm curious to see what it is. Maybe 6.5, 7.5. I don't know.
Oh, it's going to be low. It's going to be insane low. I'd feel even worse like if I spent a shit ton of money on season tickets knowing you're going to see like a first-round quarterback, national champion, and then you got Justin Jefferson finally back, fully healthy. And then you have Addison, and then 2 out of those 4 guys or 3 guys are not going to be playing a snap for you this year. So it's just horrific stuff, and that's why it's like being a fan is it's a tough commitment, man. I'm dealing with it right now with the Blue Jays. It's miserable.
That's fair. Well, I was looking at the Sports Interaction futures market in the NFL, and the day before this McCarthy injury happened, JJ to win Rookie of the Year 16-1. I was looking. I was close, but obviously, to your point, was he going to start? Is he going to play as much as Caleb or Jaden Daniels? Pardon?
That would void, though, no?
It would void, but I was just kind of more concerned. Is this a bet that I would make considering guys like Daniels and Caleb Williams are probably going to play more games, have better stats? But yeah, I mean, I was close. If he looked really freaking good against the Raiders in that preseason game.
Yeah, no, it's he honestly looked great. I mean, he had an interception, I believe, his first drive or second drive, which was a pretty bad interception. But then after that, he was locked in. It's going to be weird to see some of these rookie quarterbacks. There's a lot of them, man. I mean, you got Jaden Daniels, who looked pretty decent as well. Caleb Williams looked unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have some of these other guys as well. So,
Nix on the Broncos looked pretty good, too.
Yeah, that's why it's like, I don't know. I mean, Sean Payton said like he's the best he's seen, and like he compared him to, I think, Drew Brees or something like that. But yeah, this is why I love the NFL. There's just so many storylines every single season going into the season. There's no other league like it. There really isn't.
No, the NFL is like the best, not reality show, but like drama there is. There's always characters that go missing, players that come up, players that go down. Regular stars. Obviously, we lost Aaron Rodgers week 1 last year. Excited to see him back.
Yeah.
It's the greatest show on television. There's no show that can compare to the NFL. You factor in betting, you factor in fantasy. Also, another thing with this JJ McCarthy, Jordan Addison news, make sure to have your fantasy football drafts after the preseason because shit like this happens every year.
Yeah.
And you see the guys, I just took Jefferson number 1. I have Jordan Addison on my team. Have the draft later. Do not have your drafts during week 1, 2, or even 3 of the preseason because that's when the starters play and that's when the starters get hurt. So that's all I'll say on that one. But if you drafted this early, that's on you.
And you need a new commissioner because that's bullshit. Just be
who's got space around this time?
Yeah. It's if you're doing your draft right now, like you're a crazy person, especially with just the random shit that happens. Like, ours is in like the end of August, I think. So. Like right before, a week or 2 before the season. That's the only way it makes sense.
Yeah, I have one next Wednesday, which is a bit early. So it's like right before preseason week 3 starts, which is when the starters usually play. Yeah. So a little nervous, but ultimately getting a group of 12 guys to agree on a date to draft is very difficult. So it is what it is. We got next week. I'm praying for it. But let's switch gears a little bit here. I wanted to dive into 5 teams today. And the correlation of these 5 teams is these are the 5 most wagered on teams at Sports Interaction from the 2023 season. So a couple of these didn't surprise me. Chiefs, obviously, coming off the Super Bowl the year before. The Bills just given, we're close to Buffalo. 49ers was an interesting one, maybe just because, there wasn't a lot of hype, or there was hype, but there wasn't a lot of people talking about the 49ers going into last season.
Yeah.
The Eagles coming off the Super Bowl 2022, and the Detroit Lions. I guess the Windsor crew was getting after it with the Lions this year. So
there's always a darling like that, though. That's what the Lions is going to be this year, probably.
Personally, I was surprised to see no Cowboys. From all the people I talked to and all the people that watch games, Cowboys seemed to be a team that was locked in that top 5. They were number 6, and Detroit Lions were number 5.
Okay, that's fair. I think this year it's going to be the Lions and the Packers are going to be the darlings that everyone always bets on.
Yeah. I think it's just like everyone seems to love Dan Campbell, his energy, his pregame speeches, his postgames. Like I think everyone feels like there's a lot of people that, nobody really hated the Lions. They just felt bad because they were bad for so long. Guys like Megatron, guys like Stafford, they were there, but nothing happened. And now to see a team that first playoff win in however many years made it all the way to the NFC Championship game and just fell short. I think the Lions will be a darling team this year, and I think we will see a lot of money on them as well.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be like that with the Packers too. Jordan Love
dive into that one.
Well, Jordan Love he's the richest quarterback in the NFL, and he's had a stretch of 8 good games his entire career.
Like that's a little crazy. Fascinating. I think just like 2 years from now, the cap's going to go up again, and someone's going to get more money. Like I feel like that deal will look better. It always seems to be the case where a deal looks terrible, and then 2 years later, that was a steal. That was a steal. So I don't really know, but I mean, Jordan Love looked really good. They took the 49ers to the limit in the NFC divisional game. Who knows? I mean, they got a lot of weapons there. They brought in Josh Jacobs, so Packers could be lethal this year, but it's going to be a tight race in that division with the Lions there as well.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. That's probably my favorite division of just teams, because I even think the Bears might even be sneaky good.
Right? Caleb Williams. I mean, if you're looking for safe futures, I mean, maybe not safe, but it feels like offensive rookie of the year is Caleb Williams to lose. He's going to start week 1. Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet. He's coming into a situation where he just needs to be above average, and that offense is going to flourish. That's true.
Yeah, I'm all in on Caleb Williams. I cannot wait to watch this dude play actual meaningful games. It's going to be so sick. The Bears are going to be, I'm not going to say must-watch TV, but they're going to be a really, really fun team. Kind of like no expectations, just see what happens. And that's my favorite brand of like sport. It's just like the guys that you are just watching just to like kind of just get a gauge on, And that's what the Bears are.
Yeah, I mean, he threw a quarter and a half of a preseason, and there was already clips going viral of him making ridiculous throws. I attribute it to what Mahomes was when he came into the league. Year 1, throwing the left-handed passes, the jumps, all that. Like he was doing things we hadn't seen at the quarterback position in quite some time. And you look at Caleb Williams' highlights at USC, he was doing that already. So to do that at a pro level in prime time, if he has one of those magical throws on like a Sunday Night Football or a Monday Night Football, his stock's going here, and all of a sudden the Bears are one of the best teams to watch in the NFL.
For sure. It's going to rock. And then you also see the busts, which are hilarious. I mean, last year, Bryce Young falls into that category because his team sucked. But what do you expect from a guy getting drafted by a team with legit no one around him? So at least Caleb Williams got drafted into a position where there's pieces around him. You got Rome Odunze, DJ Moore. It's going to be fun to watch what he's able to do in like an NFL offense like that.
Yeah, that's what scares me about Drake May. I feel like as a Patriots fan, we've really done nothing to help him. They wanted Ayuk. Ayuk didn't want to come here, right? That is what it is. But they drafted 2 rookie receivers. They just cut Juju Smith-Schuster. So there are a lot of question marks on that team. Not much of an offensive line. New head coach, new coordinator, new quarterback.
Holy shit.
They're going to suck. I think the over-under last time I checked was 4.5. I have it at 4 personally, so I'll just blindly take the over there. But I think he's coming into a similar situation as what we saw with Bryce Young there. So the bust label is going to be thrown out. I think he's got the talent, but there's absolutely nothing around him to help him succeed.
Yeah, I agree. The Patriots are going to be, I'm excited to see what the Bills are going to be like. Obviously, Stephon Diggs not going to be there anymore. It's going to be weird, but I mean, Josh Allen's eating tons of that tons of their salary cap. So it's going to be a weird situation in Buffalo as well. I really don't know what's going to happen in that division.
Yeah, let's dive into the Bills a little bit. It seems to be Canada's sweetheart team almost. A lot of Canadians, a lot of friends, they all love the Bills, right? So it feels like this season is going to be very interesting. Obviously, the big move was Stephon Diggs. Where is he going to go? He leaves. They also lose Gabe Davis on offense, and then a number of players on the defensive side as well. So the Bills came so close last year, and it always seems to be, the Bills were this close. There's the overtime rule that got changed for them. They missed the kick last year. It always seems to be so close for the Bills. Do you think they can overcome this sort of voodoo or jinx that they have and take their team to the Super Bowl? Or are we just in for another year of heartbreak for Bills fans?
I mean, it's their division to essentially lose, but the Dolphins are, again, like Tua looked really good last year. So did Tyreek Hill, obviously. I really don't know what the Bills are going to be, man. I mean, that last year, Von Miller was, I think he didn't get suspended. He was just a scumbag. I'm pretty sure he had like some, I don't know if it was domestic or child abuse or whatever he did.
Let's look into that before we throw that out there.
No, it was.
Okay.
I remember there was like he got charged with something, or I forgot what it was exactly, but people were calling him a terrible human on Twitter. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, but assault. Yeah, domestic. So
it was domestic, right?
Yeah, it was domestic.
Yeah. So, anyways, like it's gonna be weird not having their leader in receiving yards last year on the team. He's on the Texans now, and Stephon Diggs. I think if I was to put money on a future, which I usually don't do, I would probably lean Bills team total under
of wins.
Yeah,
interesting. You still think they win the division though?
Value wise, it makes more sense to do Dolphins.
Right? I like that too. Dolphins are 210, Jets 180, Bills 165.
Yeah, I would probably feel comfortable. I mean, that Jets defense though last year was sick, right?
Yeah.
And now you got Aaron Rodgers back. The Jets could be a sneaky one too. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking the not the chalk, but like the favorite in the Buffalo Bills to win that division. I can't stomach doing that at plus 160 when there's two other teams in the division that I could see win that division as well.
Yeah. I mean, with the Bills, like you said, Gabe Davis gone, Stephon Diggs gone. They brought in Curtis Samuel. They had Shakir. And then they draft a receiver in the second round that I think will be a potential. If you're looking at futures, you're looking at potentially sprinkling some money on Rookie of the Year. Keon Coleman, 30-1. This guy got drafted in the second round, was at FSU. Obviously, they didn't get a national championship game. They didn't get a bowl game.
Yeah.
Maybe if they get a bowl game, he has a crazy touchdown, a crazy catch, his draft stock goes up. Maybe he goes round 1. He falls to the Bills in round 2. It seems like Josh Allen and him are building some rapport here. He's had some electric post-game interviews. I can see him becoming a face of the Bills and a very important piece of that team in the later half of the year. And 30-1 Rookie of the Year. We've seen wide receivers win it before. So, like you said, if you're a futures guy, this could be some good value play here.
It's true. Yeah. I don't know. It's like, man, it betting against Aaron Rodgers, especially during the season, seeing what that guy's been able to do his entire career, is a tough one. And also, man, that Dolphins offense is legit, dude. It's like Tyreek Hill, you could just bank that guy to probably be the receiving yards leader. Easiest bet ever. That guy's a freak. And he just re-upped his deal as well in Miami. So, and Tua just got signed or re-upped. So, man, the Dolphins team's going to be fun. I don't know if their defense is going to be as good as like the Jets defense, but yeah, I'm more low on the Bills than I've probably ever been in terms of like confidence that this team can win the division.
I mean, you are wearing a Dolphins hat right now.
I'm not a Dolphins fan.
I know, but like you are saying that, and someone's going to see the clip. Oh, Dolphins fan is going to say that.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I like the
Dolphins
too. I like the Dolphins fans too. I looked it up. After November, I think the biggest knock on Tua was he can't play in cold weather games.
Yeah.
After November till the end of the season, the Dolphins only have 3 games outdoors in the cold.
Oh.
So that's a little nugget there for you people. Like Tua doesn't excel in the cold. They got a lot of indoor games and they got Miami games to end the season. So if they can put together a string of wins and win the division, they get that home playoff game, then it's a whole new ballpark. They've had injuries down the stretch last year. Jalen Waddle got hurt. The year before, Tua got hurt. if they can stay healthy, I know we say that about a lot of teams, but if the Dolphins could stay healthy, plus 210 to win the division seems like really good value right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not a Dolphins fan. Probably shouldn't have wore this hat for the NFL preview, but listen, I think Tua's good. I think he's overhated on social media. I think he's an awesome quarterback. So I do enjoy watching Dolphins games because they're always very high scoring and they're fun to take their overs.
Oh yeah, they put up 70 points against Denver last year. Who can forget that?
Yeah,
Would you believe that Josh Allen has significantly higher odds to win MVP than Tua at this point?
Really?
So Josh Allen right now is the second highest in the NFL to win MVP at plus 900. And Tua, all the way down when I scroll, is sitting here at plus 2,500.
Okay. The thing is, man, is like Josh Allen is kind of more of a media darling than Tua is, right?
Okay, expand on that a little bit.
The thing about Josh Allen is why why people love him is because he'll rush for a ton of touchdowns as well, which is not really Tua's game, right? Like Tua's more of a I guess it makes sense. Listen, I love Josh Allen. I'm not saying Josh Allen's bad. I just enjoy watching Tua a shit ton because he just slings that shit. And sometimes it results in a lot of pickoffs, like a little Jameis Winston type of quarterback. But it's that division rocks for quarterbacks, by the way. It's sick. Josh Allen, you got Tua, you got Drake May, who, like you said, not really many pieces around him, so it might suck. But and then you got Aaron Rodgers. So it's a fun division quarterback-wise for sure.
Yeah, I think what that division will come down to is those divisional games. Buffalo, obviously, last few years, you walk through the Patriots, you walk through the Jets, and they've had a surprisingly really good record in the regular season against the Dolphins. Now things are a little bit tougher. You got Aaron Rodgers 2 times a year. You got Tua twice a year. It's going to be an interesting division. I think it's probably up there with the NFC North that we just discussed as one of the most competitive divisions. But let's lock it in here. Crystal ball, who is winning the AFC East this season?
Fuck it. I'm gonna go Dolphins.
I agree.
Plus 210.
Yeah.
Plus 210. Josh Allen losing his main target. I mean, the thing about that Stephon Diggs was a ghost the second half of the season last year, right? Like Josh Allen was essentially already kind of learning how to play without Stephon Diggs, but he was getting covered by guys leaving other guys open. So you're not going to have a main target in double coverage and having other guys open. So I'm going to say Dolphins. Fuck it. Yeah, Dolphins plus 210.
Yeah, I'll go Dolphins as well. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to come in. I can't see right away this team making an absolute resurgence taking the division. Bills, to your point, they lost 2 of their strongest receivers and some key pieces on defense. Dolphins look locked and loaded. I mean, they were on the right track to win the division last year. A ton of injuries derailed the middle of the season. Yeah. I'm going to go Dolphins as well.
Yeah, love it.
Perfect. Well, that covers the AFC East and the Bills. Let's move to the NFC and talk about the 49ers. I mean, I feel like a fan base that's seen their team make the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years, but unfortunately, no Super Bowls. We have the Niners currently plus 600, the second highest odds to win the Super Bowl, despite how the last few years have gone. A lot of drama surrounding this team right now with Brandon Ayuk. What are your expectations for the 49ers this year?
Losing Brandon Ayuk is a massive, like this isn't a hot take, but I had no idea. He led their team in receiving last year. I thought it was Debo or obviously CMC, who's more of he's a running back, but losing Brandon Ayuk is a massive blow. Like Debo and CMC, they're great. George Kittle kind of not as much of he didn't have as much of a load as he had before, but losing Brandon Ayuk is, God, that's an impossible guy to replace, right? And Brock Purdy kind of relies on this kind of super team he has around him to be a good quarterback, and not having a guy who was a safety blanket for him last year. And Brandon Ayuk is gonna be tough. But at the end of the day, man, any team that has Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, and George Kittle, I don't know how you can't just automatically just place them to win the NFC. They're just always insane. And Kyle Shanahan, although he gets a lot of scrutiny for being like terrible in the Super Bowl, which I mean the resume speaks for itself in that. you got to ride with the 49ers, man. They are so goddamn good. It's truly insane.
Yeah, on paper, this is the best team in the NFL every season. And
for sure.
Running back, best in the league. Wide receiving core, probably top 5 in the league. Tight end, top 5 in the league. Offensive line, friggin' defensive line, safeties. They have every piece they need, but for whatever reason, they always seem to come up just short in the big moments. I love the 49ers this year. Can a team go to a Super Bowl 3 times in 5 years and not win one? It just seems crazy to not think.
The Bills did it, man. I mean,
that's 3 in a row. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see that again, but
yeah, that's again. I always talk about this on like Gate 14. It's like, would you be happy if your team just made the playoffs every single year, never won anything, or would you take a championship and your team is just ass for like 10 years after that? I don't know. I don't know if I would take the championship. You know,
you're saying, like, would you rather be a Leafs fan or a Raptors fan?
Yeah, exactly. Like, would you rather be a Leafs fan where every single year you're guaranteed you're going to play in the playoffs, or would you rather be a Raptors fan where you win the championship and then the next 5 to 10 years you're not even sniffing the playoffs? You're a laughing stock of the NBA or whatever league you're in. I don't know what I'm taking. I really don't, because there's more fun if you're in the playoffs every single year. There's more sport you're watching. There's more your team you're watching, but you also have the championship to fall back on. So with the other one, I really don't know what I'm taking, to be honest with you, because Raptors fans are miserable right now.
I'm going to take Leafs fan only because of blind hope. Like, every single year they make the playoffs, and every single year I somehow convince myself that they're going to make it. So if they're guaranteed to make the playoffs every year, there's a chance, maybe they will win. Maybe this is the year. So I'll take that maybe over a guarantee. No, you're sitting your ass at home.
Exactly.
Once we hit April. So I'm going to take the Leafs in that case.
Year 7 or 8 removed from the championship, it's lost its touch, right? It's like you know,
I'm not the same person at that time.
Yeah,
the world was a completely different place when that happened. It feels like it's way longer than 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a good debate. I'd love to see what people think about that one. That's a really good one. So yeah, a Niners fan, you make the Super Bowl, there's no guarantee you win, or you be a Chiefs fan, or not Chiefs fan. You be, let's say, like who won recently?
A Bills
Patriots fan. Yeah, a Patriots fan. You make the playoffs, you win your championship, and then you go into be nothing. So
yeah. And the Patriots are different. The best comparison is either would you be a Raptors fan where you had that championship in 2019, 5 years ago, or would you be a Leafs fan where it's like, I don't even need to think about it. They will make the playoffs this year. Like, that's it, just a guarantee, It's again, it's a tough question to ask, but I know people that are going to say, oh, you're an idiot, I'm taking the championship. Really? You're going to take the championship and then just be for the next 7 to 10 years just like a miserable team that just no one cares about? I don't know if I would take that. I really don't. Maybe I'm a loser, but that's where I'm at with that.
That's fair. I don't think you're a loser, but that's fair. I mean, the thing with the 49ers is interesting because fans have to be so patient. They've seen the team make it, lose, and make it, have a lead, and then also lose. So you look at this team this year, it's pretty much the same team that's come back as last year. The only difference would potentially be Brandon Ayuk. According to X, he was on the field in 49ers gear today. I don't know why he'd want to go to Pittsburgh instead of San Francisco. So we sit here and we ponder, what can they do? My only concern with the Niners this year is Shanahan has said that they want to reduce Christian McCaffrey's workload. He's had almost 600 carries if you combine regular season and playoffs over the last 2 years. And he's up there late 20s. I mean, those knees got to give out at some point. They lower his workload. God forbid he gets hurt or he lower his workload. Purdy's got to throw more. And he loses his leading receiver from last year, Ayuk. I don't know what happens to that offense.
Yeah, I mean, the odds for them suck. It's like,
I don't know if they suck. I don't know if they're going to be as dominant as they were last year.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I know people are probably going to just blindly bet it, which makes sense. Obviously, it's the Niners. You have literally like just a freak squad. But yeah, and again, with Brandon Ayuk, dude, like, there is no money in the world that would make me want to leave a Super Bowl contending team when I'm making good money to go play for either Justin Fields as your quarterback or Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I don't know if he's actually 100% going to the Steelers. Obviously, we don't know yet, but
yeah,
it's just a weird situation, to be honest. It sucks.
Yeah, for what it seems like is the deal's ready to go. If he wants to stay, he can stay, and if he wants to go to Steelers, he can go. So from today, it says Brandon Ayuk has arrived at 49ers practice wearing team gear. So he did arrive. Doesn't mean he practiced, but he was there today in team gear. So who knows what's going to happen. If I'm Ayuk, I'm taking whatever money they're giving me. I'm staying in San Francisco, and I'm running back another chance at a championship.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. If he wants to win a ring, that's what he'll do. But I mean, he's lost 2 rings in the last 3 years, or 4 years. So it's nothing's guaranteed. But it is wild seeing this how much Niners love there is already. And Brandon Ayuk is a question mark. Who was their best receiver last year? It's weird.
Yeah, I think over-under right now is at 11.5 wins. I mean, seems like a smash spot. Call me crazy. I think they get 11. I see 11-6. I'm going to go under 11.5 wins. I'm probably going to eat this take in January. But you know what? I don't see the Niners being as dominant as they were last season, just given how many powerhouses we have in the NFC this year.
Like, let's look at their schedule here. So they got Jets, that's a win. Vikings, that's a win. Rams, that's a win. Patriots, that's a win. Cardinals, that's a win. Like they have
5-0. 5-0 to start, no problem.
That's 5-0 with ease. Then they got the Seahawks, who are a question mark letdown spot maybe on Sunday Night Football or whatever that is. Chiefs, that might be a loss, but they are at home for that game. They are at home for that game. Like, and then they got the Cowboys, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, Bills. Not like the back half of their schedule. They're backloaded. Like the last,
for sure.
Like, because they got their last couple games, they have Lions, Dolphins, Bills, Packers, Bucks, Cowboys. So like they do have some tough matchups like to end the season for them. But
it'll be close. It'll be close.
They should start out 5-0, no questions asked though.
Yeah, like the 5-0 seems like a lock here. I think we actually do have odds on that. I want to find that for us right now. But we do have teams to go 5-0 to start. We got a lot of different prop markets, but to your point, that's fair. I didn't realize they had a cakewalk first 5 weeks. If you're a gambler, I think Niners spread first 5 weeks is free. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
But so the Niners
might lose one of these games. Like they might lose to the Vikings on the road or the Rams on the road. Maybe.
If they don't lose one of those first 5, they're losing 6 in prime time to Seattle. I do like that. Like that. All right. Well, we got the Niners plus 600 to win the Super Bowl, but let's move on to a team that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago and wasn't able to get it done. The Philadelphia Eagles, obviously biggest move of the offseason. They bring in Saquon Barkley, a guy that's going to take some pressure off Jalen Hurts when we get in these QB sneak situations, these tight goal line packages. Now, they did lose Jason Kelce, whether on the field or off the field. That's a massive loss for that team, but we'll see. I mean, they did also lose Hassan Reddick to the Jets, who doesn't even want to play in the Jets, but they did add 2 cornerbacks in the draft, so they addressed the need on defense. What do you expect from the Philadelphia Eagles this season?
Man, that defense was terrible last year. A defense that was actually good 2 years ago when they got to the Super Bowl. Didn't lose many pieces, and then they sucked last year. Like their defense was horrible, dude. I remember I think it was the
they
first.
Played the Bucks. I think they played the Bucks.
They got shit pumped,
like
legit shit pumped. I couldn't believe it. I know they have a new defensive coordinator now, I believe. So they have changed some things on that front, but that offense rocks. Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. Their offense is sick. It's going to come down to their defense, and if their defense is even remotely as bad as they were last year, they are going to be terrible. Like they're just going to be an easy fade spot. They lost to the Cardinals last year. They
did. They down the stretch last year, they're probably the worst team. You know, did they have injuries? Yes, but I guess every team has injuries. You remember AJ Brown was having some outbursts on the sidelines a little bit. Like it was just a tough scene for Philly to end the year last year. I do think they bounced back. I mean, I think when we did a preview show back in when we got the odds in like April or something, I said the Eagles to win the NFC might not be a bad shout. Right now it's plus 600. So they're right behind the Lions and the 49ers. I mean, I'd put them right there with those teams, but to your point, if that defense doesn't work, you're going to have to go up in the playoffs against Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel. Like they're going to need to be very strong in the secondary. And if they're getting cooked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, they don't stand a chance against some of these heavy hitters.
No chance. The Eagles, I mean, they're kind of a shoo-in to make the playoffs, obviously. Like they are.
That's the formality. It's what are they going to do when they get there?
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with them, man. It's like I truly don't know. We're gonna have to see what that defense does, but I mean, their offense is gonna be good. But losing Jason Kelsey's a tough one as well. Obviously, one of the best centers of all time. And the tush push is it's their thing, and that's what they did last year. But having Saquon Barkley, who honestly was pretty decent last year, fully healthy, actually looked pretty good. It's going to be cool to see Saquon Barkley playing behind a good O-line.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be exciting to see how much they use him. Like when they get these 4th and 1s, when they're at the goal line, are we doing QB sneaks every single time? Or are we taking some pressure off Hurts and doing some Saquon Barkley dives into the end zone? So it should be good. I believe minus 120 to win the NFC East and the Cowboys plus 150. Who do you like there?
The Cowboys are the best regular season team to bet on the planet.
I agree.
Like you just take the Cowboys there.
Yeah, plus money on the Cowboys. I mean, they cooked the Eagles last time they played last year, and usually these divisions come down to who wins head-to-head, so I'm going to take the Cowboys at plus money there.
And that Cowboys defense is sick. Dak Prescott gets tons of hate. I mean, last year wasn't rightfully so. He pretty much cut his interceptions in half, I believe, last year.
Yeah, his strongest season, I think, in the league.
Yeah,
so far.
He gets a lot of hate. I know CeeDee Lamb has a little bit of beef with Jerry Jones right now with contract talk and all that type of stuff. I saw the tweet at him, but it'd be stupid not to bet the Cowboys. They're the best regular season team of all time, and they just shit down their leg in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm riding with the Cowboys here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I look at the most regular season passing yards, Dak Prescott plus 750. I mean, CD might go for 2,000 this year.
Yeah,
they don't really have a running offense, and it seems like they're always in a position where they got to throw the ball, and they love throwing the ball. CeeDee Lamb plus 600 regular season receiving yards. Fantasy football bettors, be warned. I think the Cowboys offense is going to pick up right where they left off to end last season.
For sure. And Dak, obviously he took that leap last year. Dak Prescott's going to be a dog this year, dude. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely, because I mean he's in a situation where the Cowboys might move on if he doesn't get it done in the playoffs. So yeah, similar to the Maple Leafs, this team's going to make the playoffs this year. We know that. What are they going to do when they get there?
Yeah, for sure. And that's Cowboys and Eagles are both a shoo-in to make the playoffs, though. That's like a guarantee. That division's fairly weak as well. So,
all right. Well, let's wrap here with the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions back-to-back. Can they three-peat as Super Bowl champions? Never been done in the history of the NFL, but somehow they still are the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. That'll never make sense to me, but that's a question for the powers that be. I can't see them winning again, just purely off of the fact that it's never happened, but it's hard to argue against the Chiefs. What do you think?
This is the thing. You look at the Chiefs last year and you say, what we were saying on this very show, we were talking about the fact that the Chiefs had no receivers, none of that stuff. Their leading receiver last year was Travis Kelce, 875 or 897 yards. That was their leading receiver. Their leading receiver didn't even have 1,000 yards, and they won the Super Bowl. It's just idiotic. It's stupid to just bet against the Chiefs at this point. It really is. Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. And as long as he has Travis Kelce there with him, I don't know how you can just fade this team. And it'd be cool to see a three-peat. That'd be unreal. Like you said, no one's ever done it. But I understand the hype, and I understand the preseason betting odds being favored, like being heavily favored to the Chiefs. They are just Patrick Mahomes is truly is insane. And last year he did it with just a horrible receiving core. Like he had Kadarius Toney last year as one of the receivers.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, he's still also the favorite to win MVP, which again seems crazy despite having no receivers with over 1,000 yards last year. I think odds makers are expecting a bounce back year for the Chiefs when it comes to their offense. Hollywood Brown's going to be out for a little bit to start the season. Rashee Rice somehow avoided the suspension. Xavier Worthy, the guy they drafted that's coming in, he's going to be good. And then, of course, you have Travis Kelce. So the Chiefs are all going to be the Chiefs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win their division. They're going to have either home field throughout the Super Bowl or throughout the playoffs or for the first two games. We already know. We don't need to be, pundits here to sit here and say the Chiefs are going to be in the AFC Championship game. The question is, are they going to make it to the Super Bowl again when you have teams like Baltimore, teams like Cincinnati, teams like potentially Miami in there? Are the Chiefs that good, or is their competition just that inferior?
Yeah, Again, it's the Patrick Mahomes effect. Like, he's down with 3 minutes left, needs a touchdown or a field goal. He's getting it. Yeah. That's just what it is. He could have us playing receiver for him. He somehow figures out a way to just do the impossible, which is what makes him so goddamn insane. It's like Brady. He would always figure out a way to win, and that's why it's just betting against the Chiefs. I did it last year in the Super Bowl because I got convinced by my buddy. I'll never do that again. I will never bet against the Kansas City Chiefs again. Just a stupid, idiotic, dumb thing to do. It really is.
I did that the year before with the Eagles. I felt like the smartest guy in the room at halftime and then the biggest idiot in the room after the game. Yeah. So I didn't make that mistake last year. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this again. I'm going to be on the wrong side of history again. I'm going to take the Chiefs. But obviously you can't bet against them to not make the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I think we see a passing of a torch this year. And I do think we see a new king in the AFC. I don't know who it's going to be. I gave you my 3 best bets for that. Baltimore, Cincy.
Yeah.
What's the last one? The last one was Miami. We'll see. I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. I'm kind of sick of it. This is like the Warriors in the NBA a few years ago. Fortunately, there's a new opponent every year. But I'm sick of it. Okay, I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear these Brady Mahomes conversations. I want to see some new blood in the Super Bowl. So I am praying that the Chiefs don't make the Super Bowl this year.
Well, I also like I'm a dynasty guy. I like seeing the big dogs always win. Okay. So I'd personally like to see the Chiefs do that. But
4 though, you want to see another one? How many do they need?
Yeah, I mean, I also like the narrative. It's like he's catching up to Brady, which is kind of cool. But Brady's had 3 separate careers in one career and been Hall of Famers in all 3 of them. So I don't think he'll ever be Brady personally, but it just goes to show you, like, this guy is a freak. He has 3 Super Bowls already, and he's like, what, 27?
7, yeah, 27.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Brady comparisons we can put to bed. They did, unlike Jordan LeBron, unlike McDavid Gretzky, these 2 did play each other in the Super Bowl, and who won? Tom Brady. So
Brady won when he was like 40.
Yeah, so I don't want people to say, oh, he's the next Brady. They had a chance to play each other, and he didn't beat him. So exactly. Enough of that. But
when he was young.
He was pretty young. Yeah. He was pretty young, but Brady was pretty old. So you can argue outliers in both directions.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Sean was the one in here who said in December, don't count out the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. It's like, bro, they played terrible in the regular season. They look like a fringe playoff team going in. They were just playing so bad. Fortunately, their division is so shit that they cakewalk there. And then they just lit it up in the playoffs. So it seems like a team that you seem to get good value on if they don't look really good in the later half of the regular season versus taking them outright before the season starts.
Yeah, it's true. It might be a live bet for them to win the Super Bowl if they like suck for 2 weeks and they're looking down. Everyone's talking. There goes the Chiefs. There goes the Chiefs dynasty. That might be it.
Yeah, they always seem to come from behind. And before we end off on the Chiefs here, there is one thing. And again, I'm not a big guy that uses the word locks, hammer that, mortgage, all that, because ultimately anything can happen in this world. With that being said, absolute lock of the century, mortal lock, Isaiah Pacheco over 900 rushing yards. Why is that number so low? That is insane to me.
Yeah, I'm really not sure why that's low. That
is really low. Last year, he didn't even start as a starter. You had Jerick McKinnon in there. You had a couple of other names. This guy lit it up in the playoffs. He's probably been their most consistent offensive piece over the last season. He had 935 last year, and somehow we're at 900 yards this year. Hammer spot. Hammer lock. All the superlatives you need. Isaiah Pacheco over 900 yards.
I like that.
Thank you. That's a clip. We'll put that clip up too. I'll live and die on that. Isaiah Pacheco 900 yards. Unless he gets hurt. I don't believe the Chiefs drafted anyone this season, but unless Isaiah Pacheco gets hurt, smash spot for Prince right here.
Love that. Well,
that's it. I mean, we'll be here every week. We'll be talking NFL. We got our picks out here today. We'll preview some other teams, maybe some shittier teams today. We took on the nice teams. Maybe we'll look at the shitters and something good to do a little bit later with some of the worst teams in the NFL. But let's transition from football America to football England. The Premier League kicks off this week. We are back. This was quite a big soccer show down the stretch last season. Covered Euros, covered Copas, Champions League, Premier League, and now we're back. Felt like the shortest offseason in the history of sports, but here we are. Man City.
Yeah,
the reigning defending champions. Can wild. We see a team take them down this season, Johnny? Please.
Listen, Arsenal got Calafiori, one of the biggest guys that everyone wanted in the offseason. Arsenal signed him from Bologna. That's the only team I think that's going to just knock at the door. I think Man City is still probably, they're plus 150 to win the goddamn league, which is crazy. I would never bet that ever. That's crazy. It's only really Arsenal that could, in my opinion, that could take them down. Arsenal last year, they had it and they just fumbled again. Like back-to-back years, they kind of bottled the league. But if I'm betting money value-wise, like I said, I would probably sprinkle Arsenal, man. The odds aren't that. They're plus 165, right?
Yeah.
Like Man City's plus 150 again, which is ridiculous, but there's a reason why, because both those teams are just so far and superior, better than all the other teams. Like Liverpool has a new coach, right? And then they're transitioning from that. Chelsea is just synonymous for bottling. They spend the most amount of money and they didn't even qualify for Champions League. It's between Arsenal and Man City, and right now, I guess value-wise, it does make sense for Man City now that I think of it, because it's 15-cent difference. But this is just something you can't bet until the season goes on. Like last year, Man City got up to pretty high odds because they kind of struggled a little bit because Arsenal had the top of the league. But this is something you bet, especially in the Premier League, halfway through the season when there's still the parity and teams like Man City haven't showed how good they actually truly are, and you get them at better odds. Okay. Betting it preseason is it doesn't make sense with those odds.
So you're saying Man City will probably win. Don't bet it now. Wait till there's a spot where maybe it
wait till a struggle spot.
No one's taking them down is the takeaway here.
It's they got
for another one.
KDB, Julian Alvarez actually just got signed, just transferred to Atletico, so he won't even be there. But this is it's dumb to bet a future at that price, especially when it's so much stuff could happen. If Erling Haaland went down, they're fucked, you know? Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to just to bet a future at plus 160, especially in the Premier League.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I still don't have a club yet. I don't want to touch Man City just because that's you don't come into you don't start watching the NFL and become a fan of the Chiefs, right? I want to see a team surprise here. I think it'll be interesting this year. Hopefully we do get some swinging of the pendulum and some teams rising in the rankings, but it seems like Man City sweeping the board here because I look at top goal scorer in Erling Haaland minus 165 to lead. Second is Mo Salah, who's at plus 1,200. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's really not close. If you bet Mo Salah or Isak, you're essentially just rooting for an injury to Erling Haaland because he scored.
What about the boy, Cole Palmer?
Yeah, Cole Palmer too. But again, you're essentially just rooting for an injury to Erling Haaland because that's the only way.
It's like that. Okay.
That's the only way he's losing. He takes every PK. They literally force feed him in the box. It's stupid to not bet Erling Haaland, to be honest. It really is dumb. And the odds there speak for itself. The guy in second place is plus 1,200. What other league is like that? There's no other league going into this season having a top goal scorer in the NHL at minus 170. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even think the discrepancy between Matthews and I think Pasternak might be too. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's just, that's what the Premier League is. You have the top teams who have the shit ton of money and they can get the best players, and that's what Man City is.
Okay. Well, I'm actually trying to find it right now. Here we go. Well, out of curiosity, are there any sleeper teams in the Premier League? Teams that may be undervalued, teams that bettors like myself who don't know a lot about the league can make some money on either early or late in the season?
I like Newcastle United this year. Last year, they had so many injuries, tons and tons of injuries. Kind of got shafted with that. We're fielding teams with full of young guys, second, third guys. Newcastle to finish top 4 to qualify for Champions League is plus 187.
Yep.
I'd probably bet that.
Okay.
I actually really like that, to be honest with you. So that's probably the only one I'm leaning at is that one. And then team to finish at the bottom of the league, Leicester City at plus 160 as well is a good one. I know it's the favorite. But
yeah, why are they the favorite? How shit is this team?
I mean, they just got promoted, so they don't have all the big dogs, you know?
Yeah. The only other team I recognize on that list is Fulham, and that's not for soccer reasons. But
yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I mean, listen, I'm gonna watch more this year. I mean, we made the pack last year. I fell in love. The Euros, the Champions League. It was a good stretch of footy for sure. So I think I'm gonna watch this year. I do like Cole Palmer a lot. I like his swagger. He gives me that Tyler Hero type of vibe where it's like he's got
Palmer.
that swag. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch that Chelsea Man City game Sunday. That'll be a good good matinee, as they say. So
yeah,
a lot of sports coming up. We made it all the way through the summer. Summer's been awesome, but this is where the real work starts.
Yes, sir. It's the end of the summer. The weather is still like you're starting to get like a little bit close to fall, so you're not drenched in sweat when you're outside. You know, it's like it's better. This is the best time. You got the MLB playoffs going to be happening and all that soon, and then you got the playoff push for MLB. So this is the best time for sure. This is easily the best time of the year.
100%. Well, unfortunately, no parlay winners of the week.
Wow.
You guys are losers. We didn't get any good ones this week. We couldn't come out here and play a B-level parlay after the A-levels we had last week. So you guys got to do better. Unfortunately, we don't have one this week. Next week, hopefully we have a crazy one. But that's all we got for today. Great show today. NFL futures, Premier League futures, NFL preseason, Premier League games. We have it all over at Sports Interaction. So make sure you head on over today. Follow us on socials first, but while you're on your phone, open the App Store, download the Sports Interaction app, sign up, and start betting with us today. Your homegrown sportsbook, bet local.
Talking shit.